Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. Today we're going to be looking at a new game from Hoyoverse, Honkai Star Rail. So Hoyoverse, they're the same creators as Genshin Impact, one of the biggest games of last year. If you like that art style, if you like those kind of mature graphics, well, you're going to be blown away by what you see in Honkai Star Rail today. So we've got ourselves here a free-to-play cross-platform game. You can play it on PC, Android, phones, iOS, whatever you like. So I'm going to be running you through my early game experience here. They've done quite a cool thing here. They've basically taken an immersive story where you really feel involved, where you're meeting a lot of the new characters that come into play. So you'll get to work through instanced locations, which are really large. It actually gives you a sense of exploration as you're working your way through the different levels. So the game's going live April 25th. You can download using my link down below if you want to get involved and try out this game. I suggest you do. It's actually a really fresh kind of feel to it. We're going to see some gameplay as we go through this video today. So each of the characters, they've got their own kind of unique feel, own unique art style. They all come with 2 abilities plus an ultimate. Some of them kind of focused around being a defender, giving you the power of cuteness to put a shield on your team. Other ones coming in with the big kaboom to take down the enemy. So you need to make sure that you get yourself a nice kind of balanced roster going on here. There are going to be dozens of different characters to collect. And there is a kind of like gotcha element here where you can pull time warps, they call it, to actually go out and try and find yourself some new characters in the game. So I guess to try and help you understand how the game plays, we're going to look at the first big boss that I had to try and take down while I was on my travels here. Brought in a squad of 4, 1 defender who bought me some shield, is just Asta here. And then I've basically got 3 people that are doing damage. And basically what we get here is kind of like a turn-based fighting system. Yeah, it's turn-based mechanics. When you've got a big boss like this, each of the different hands or components of the boss are almost like an element that can take a turn, as well as all of my characters can take a turn. If you let your ultimate build up, you see I'm doing an ultimate right now, then you can actually almost kind of like jump in with your ultimate to enhance your normal abilities. There's cool mechanics in here. You can kind of freeze the enemy so that you kind of like slow their abilities. You can set them on fire, which obviously will do kind of like damage over time type of stuff. You can enhance your abilities if you do a bunch of A1s first. So you're kind of like doing single target hits, making your kind of next ability be supercharged, and then you're going to go in with the big smack. So there's definitely a lot of strategy behind the battle. And I'd imagine like the further and further you get through the game, the more characters you've got to choose from, the kind of more rich you're going to get in terms of a meta forming around a squad. And, you know, making sure that you hold those big abilities for the right time. I thought I'd got the boss down pretty damn quick, and I was like, oh, this is not too bad. But it turns out it was a bit more difficult than that. The boss actually does like a full regen of health and comes at me again. And I've got to say, like, it definitely got hairy at times. I had to make sure that I was using my shields at the right time, make sure that I was saving my ultimate for, you know, those kind of areas of time when I'd weaken the boss. And eventually, we took him down. And then what was quite nice is it goes straight into this kind of cutscene. It almost feels like you're watching a TV animated series. Yeah, that's the kind of quality of cutscene we get. And yeah, you feel like you're in the moment. It feels like you're actually there experiencing it. I think they've done a great job on this type of like bringing the visual into the gameplay and kind of immersing the two between each other. So I guess let me show you some features of the game here whilst we're doing it. There's also some cool things, as I say, kind of MMO-like. So you've got your quest system on the left. You can kind of flick into anywhere that you've been and kind of teleport around into this kind of like big open world. So if you're trying to do quests quickly, you can just kind of teleport in. And I just save yourself a lot of time from just, you know, running around, basically. There's a number of different characters you just kind of collect along the way without having to do any summons. But you can, as I say, summon through the kind of like time warp thing as well. I guess there's going to be an element of totally free to play, or if you wanted to purchase, you can purchase and kind of speed things up in terms of finding characters as well. As I said, like the cutscenes are pretty quirky at times, and I actually feel like the soundtrack in this game is also really like solid, really strong. It does feel like you're just literally watching an animated TV show, like in the cutscenes. And the gameplay's not too far dissimilar from it, honestly, in terms of quality. All aboard. So as I said, there's kind of a deep system in here in terms of building up the power of your different heroes. You could go into any of the heroes that you've collected so far, level them up with items that you pick up. Obviously, it increases their kind of base stats, that type of stuff. You also get these light cones, which enhance abilities. Everyone's kind of got their own personal one that will either enhance their defensive stuff or their offensive stuff, depending on what you pick up. Then you've got this kind of like traces tree, where you're just enhancing different parts of their kits. And you choose which direction you want to go in that. Yeah, it's fluid. Like, you choose which path you want to take. And then you've got Iodolans, which is not easy to say, which you pick up as you go through the different kind of worlds. So you're kind of picking up ways to enhance your ultimate abilities. Okay, then, I think before we leave the video, let's just go through some of the different characters that are available. You start off by grabbing some of these ones, which are kind of part of the story mode before you get into trying to pull some for yourself. So we've got here March the 7th, which is an interesting name. I just rate them down below. Who's your favorite out of the ones we're seeing? Dan Heng. He's one of my damage dealers right now. Asta. Looking pretty sweet. Herta. I'm guessing that these then become basically like the legendary versions. We've got ourselves Himiko, who you do get to use as you're going through the story mode. Looking pretty sweet. Welt knocked me out as I was going through the story mode as well. Obviously got some sort of bone to pick with me there. Who else have we got here? Seal, a resident of the underworld and the backbone of Wildfire. She has a frank personality, but there is a delicate and sensitive hidden side to her deep in her heart. Very nice. Awesome. So look, download Honkai Star Rail now. You can use my link down below. If you also put in the promo code, which is popping up on the screen now, you will get yourself 50 Stellar Jades to get you going. Thank you again, Honkai Star Rail, for sponsoring this video. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.